So here's what we're gonna try to do today. About once a year, I send out a survey to my email list asking for what they think, feedback, things like that. And then I always get so many replies that I don't really know what to do with it. Ideally, I would mine it for testimonials, things like that. But I figured, what if instead I try to make a page on my blog that shows everyone's responses raw, and that way people who are interested in subscribing to the mailing list can actually see what it looks like. So they could see everyone's feedback, not just the good stuff, not just the bad stuff, but literally the raw version of what everyone said. So that's what we're going to try to do today using the Typeform API and making, I guess, a custom Gatsby source plugin, because there is no plugin that currently exists. If that works well, we might open source it. Probably not, because I'm lazy and I never maintain those things. So we're just gonna get started. And I'm drinking some weird sort of beer. It's actually pretty good. So let's minimize all of this shit. And now it's been a while since I built a custom. Okay, first thing I need to do is remove all of the blogs that I have on my site, because otherwise Gatsby build times are going to kill us. Yes, I'm sure I want to remove all of them. And I think we're gonna start with, let's see, ls source. I'm sure there's somewhere in here that I can put a custom plugin. Gatsby config. And yes, I am using Gatsby, and I am not currently interested in moving to Remark or Next.js. Too much work. So we're gonna look up, let's see, build custom source plugin for Gatsby. I know that there's a template that I can use for this, so I'm just gonna follow Gatsby's tutorial because that is going to be the easiest. And for those who don't know, a source plugin is a way to basically gives you, what was I gonna say? A source plugin gives you the ability to connect to any API and transform it into Gatsby's query GraphQL machinery. And that's what we're gonna do, so that I can just query, so that I can go into MDX and query Typeform responses and then list them out. That's gonna be the easiest way for me to build pages and stuff. So we're gonna say shows local data is synced, create nodes, blah blah blah, links nodes and creates relationships between them. Awesome. Creating a generic plugin, a data plugin. Let's see if there's any create Gatsby data plugin. I just want to see if that looks different. Creating a, nope, those are all source. Perfect. Those are all source plugins. Why create one? Blah blah blah. An example API request. Plugin behavior, make an API request. Yes. All right. So we are not going to do all of this. Oh, but that's nice. We can do a Gatsby new set up a source plugin. This will create your plugin in a separate project from your examples site, but you could also include it in your site's plugins folder. That sounds cool. So where do we put the plugins folder? Keep it custom for now. My Gatsby site. Do I have a plugins folder already? Nope. So we're gonna say make dir plugins. And then we can say Gatsby new source plugin. The plugin starts with a few files. Source plugin. Biggest changes, install your plugin in the example site. Gotcha. So we're gonna say Gatsby new plugins slash, what did we say? This is going to be Typeform source, Gatsby Typeform source. That's what they're usually called. npm.js. Let's go Gatsby source GraphQL, I think is one of them. Yes. So Gatsby Typeform source, and we're gonna start it from this Gatsby starter plugin. Bam. Let's see if that works. So we should now get a new thing in plugins. Perfect. Gatsby Typeform source is now a new Gatsby plugin. Starts with a few files. We're gonna install the plugin here. So plugins, we can go with, come on. So we add require resolve dot slash, oh no, it's just plugins, Gatsby Typeform source. That's the plugin we're gonna require. And then you can include the plugin by using its name if you're using npm link, or place your plugin in example site plugins. Oh, cool. So we can also just do it like this. Gatsby Typeform source. Wonderful. So we have the plugin installed, and now I should be able to run yarn start. And we're gonna open from here. We should just open the, let's make a new VS Code. So we're gonna take the new VS Code, and let's see, what is this gonna do? Let me just get the window size, and we open the plugin itself in Swizzets, plugins, Gatsby Typeform source. Cool. And let's see, in index.js, that's a no-op. And source data and create nodes. We're gonna think of that later. Wait. Am I making the right kind of thing? Gatsby node, implement Gatsby node. You can uncomment. Okay. Gatsby browser, we're not gonna need that. Gatsby SSR, we're also not gonna need that. It's just gonna be Gatsby node. Perfect. So here we're going to say what? Actually, this might have been the wrong approach to take. Let's look at how Gatsby source GraphQL works, because I think that's going to be a better starter for us. Because this one, yes, source GraphQL. Let's see, is there a Gatsby source REST? That could also be useful. Gatsby source REST. Does that exist? Gatsby source REST API. Perfect. A Gatsby source plugin for sourcing data into your Gatsby application from any REST API. The plugin creates REST API nodes from blah. This is going to be a better approach. So instead of, yes. Yep. This plugin is a work in progress. Implement a way to pass keys to APIs. Okay, well, we are definitely going to need that. Gatsby source custom API. Gatsby source custom API helps you sourcing data from any API and transform it into Gatsby nodes. Yarn add Gatsby source custom API. So URL, auth, find the auth for your API, username, password, root key, name your API, images, image keys, schemas, provide default schemas. Multiple sources, multiple instances. Okay. Hey, another web dev. How are you doing today? Let me see. How does this work? You know what? I'm just gonna go to Gatsby source custom API, and we're gonna steal from there. Let's see if that exists. No, it's not in this repository. Eric Hodges. Nice. And Gatsby source custom API. So I'm just gonna, instead of using the starter that we started with, I'm going to remove that. rm minus rf blah. Actually, no, we can keep that. And now we're going to go in here and see how it's actually doing, how it's doing this stuff. So index.js stays empty. Package.json says what stuff? No, I didn't forget you. I'm just in the middle of thinking about other things. Let's see. Gatsby source custom API. We're not going to release anything. We are going to need node fetch. It's a good idea. So plugins Gatsby for Typeform source. Get status, get add dot get commit -m init plugin starter. Okay, so we've got that part. Now let's see, what else do we need to steal? Gatsby source, custom API. Where's the code? Gatsby node, is this where the code lives? All right, so export source nodes, that's where we're gonna do stuff, isn't it? Let's see, caching data between runs. Okay, we can deal with that later. Source nodes, that's what we're gonna need. Okay, so we go into Gatsby node and we start writing exports.source nodes equals async, and it gets a cache. And then it says get the last timestamp, pull data from some remote source using cache data as an option in the request. Cool. So now Gatsby source nodes, we do the data, querying and sourcing data from a remote location. Yes. How do we, new Apollo client. I'm just trying to figure out. Okay, so when we actually query the data, oh, actually, let's go see if there is a Typeform SDK or some package that can already talk to Typeform. Typeform embed, Typeform parse, React Typeform embed. No, I just Typeform API client. Perfect. So we're gonna use this because that's gonna make our life easier. So installation, let's go. Yarn add, I think I need to run it in here. Yes, yarn add at typeform slash API minus client. Cool. And then in here, we say import create client from Typeform API client. And then we create an instance with our token. So const Typeform API equals create client with token that I'm going to go get from Typeform for now. So Typeform login. Where do I get the API token? Let's see. So what are you up to these days, Eric? It's been a long time. So Swizzits, apps and integrations. That sounds like something that might have my token. Token? No? Where do I get my token? What's new? Aspect to more apps and integrations, settings. Account, edit your URL, request my data, delete my account, no. Members, developer apps, register a new app. So I'm going to delete this app afterwards because I'm about to show you all of the keys. HPS, swizzits.com, Typeform, live code, fake. Oh, nice. Swizzits.com. So what do you think about Web3? At least one redirect URI. Bam. Client secret. We'll show you this secret just once. So I'm gonna copy it here for now. So I'm hoping that's it. Got it. Typeform live code fake. My next app. No. Client ID. Edit app. Token expiration period. So where do I get the token? Yeah, I totally agree that it is way overhyped. Is this my token? Okay, we can try. So we're gonna try. We're gonna try to list all of the forms. So we go with Typeform API dot forms.list const form list equals await that, and we're gonna console log it here. No, come on. Console log the form list, see if it works. Yarn start. We need to go up, another up, yarn start, and we'll see if, hopefully this spits out a list of my Typeform forms. I have a feeling it's not going to because it doesn't actually work. We can't import. We have to say const equals require blah and try again. So it's sourcing and transforming shit. Oh, it's trying to connect to the Typeform, and it says that authentication failed. Cool. So why did the authentication fail? Where was that? Redirect from, okay. Authentication failed. So how do I get my token? Create an instance with your, oh, it needs to be with my personal token. Where do I get my personal token? So we're gonna go and delete this app. Yeah, just delete the app. And where do I get my personal token? Turn on to 2FA, security, communications, authorized apps, personal tokens. Oh, there we go. So I can generate a token here. Live coding fake token. It will be able to only read forms, no images, can't write responses, can't read anything, can't do this. So this is just in case, you know, anyone steals this token from my stream because I'm being very lazy. So we take the token and then I will later replace this with the real token. Now let's try this again. Yarn start. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes, that's an error that we don't care about. Cool. So we got all of the forms. Amazing. Now, the next step is going to be, instead of getting a list of forms, we're going to get a list of responses to a specific form. Workspaces, responses. Responses list, unique ID for the form. Perfect. So token, and we're going to say const responses equals Typeform API dot responses dot list with the UID of blah, and we're gonna say page size, default value, maximum number of responses. So we are gonna say before IDs completed sort query fields. Awesome. So response, I need to find the actual responses. Login. Let's see. My workspace. Let's go with newsletter feedback for 2021. And this is the code that I used. Like that. And we're going to say page size is 1000 because whatever. Because I don't feel like dealing with pagination. So let's print the responses here. So now we should get, when Gatsby starts up, we should get a list of all of the Typeform responses. Promise pending. Yes, I need to await this. Await. Bam. Perfect. So we have all of the data. Wonderful. Token, response ID, calculated answers, everything. Awesome. So now that we have those answers, we're going to create the actual nodes for us to, what was I gonna say? We're gonna create the source nodes so that Gatsby can, get the data, I guess. So client query, blah, blah, blah. How do we create the nodes? Data post, oh, there we go. So here we go. And we say promise.all with, yeah. So we can run all of those in parallel. I think we need to, are they promises? No, I guess they're not promises. But we're gonna get source nodes. We don't get just the cache, we also get the actions. So we're gonna iterate over for const response in of responses. And for each of those, we call create node. Create node that says what? Pa-pa-pam. So the ID is going to be, where is my responses API? So we're going to look at the responses API documentation so that I can see what we actually get back. Responses API reference, page size, since, after, before, we don't need any of that. Include response IDs. Exclude, completed, sort, query. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, sort. Responses order in. Meh. So we get the responses. What do they look like? 530 line. Schema, total items, page count, items. No, why did I do that? Okay, I guess that's the only thing that tells us what exists. So, where were we? Schema. Can I just see the whole schema? No? Right, so we get sample items. Where is the... I don't want items, I want to see the other stuff. Page count. So wait, what did we print here? We got, for each, we got a list of responses. Where are they? Come on, responses. Ah, there we go. So, items, const for each response in responses.items, we're gonna go with the ID is response.response ID for our node. And then we need parent null, and we don't have any children nodes. And what is the internal type? Author node type content. Aha. So how do we define the type? So the type of our form is going to be, and you can copy this code. How do we define the full type? Typeform, let's just call it Typeform response. New WebSocket link. Post node type. So is it type? Wait. So I'm kind of figuring out this as I go, obviously. So author node type is just author. And this, then we have hashes the inputs into an ID. I guess we can use actions. So we say const create node and create node ID come from actions. And we can then here create node ID. We say typeform minus the response ID, and then the internal is typeform. Let's go typeform response. Typeform response. Typeform response. Content. Okay. So content is a JSON. So content is JSON stringify of the, let's go with the whole thing. So we stringify the response and we say content digest becomes create content digest, which comes from, no, so that's not an action. So we have actions, create content digest, and create node ID. Okay, create content digest comes from the response. Okay. Cool. Now we try what this does. At this point, you should be able to run Gatsby develop and then see, okay, yarn start, and we're gonna go to the GraphQL Explorer and see if this works. Or rather than see if this works, I'm just curious what actually happens. It looks like nothing errored out. So it's building the development bundle, which should enable this thing to start up. Okay, it's caching the HTML. Come on. Why does this part take so long? All right. So we can now go to localhost 8000 /_ GraphQL. That's loading. So we should now be able to go to all Typeform response and query for what? What does each Typeform response have? Nodes, internal, content, play. Okay, so that gives us the whole shebang, which is useful, but not that useful. Oh, let me zoom this in a little bit. So I'm going to, what can we do here? Children ID parent, page info, sum, total count. Let's see what we can do. Verifying your plugin. Yeah. Okay. Creating a source plugin, optimize remote, could remote file. Create node field. What does that mean? What is the create node field for? Create node field. By using, you're extending the existing node and place a new field name local file under the fields key. Do not mutate the node directly. Create schema customization to define this relationship. File node ID as a value, but at this time Gatsby can't just yet resolve this to the file node. Alright. So now I'm trying to figure out how to put more useful data in there. So what happens if we, instead of JSON stringify of the content, if we just put the full response there? I want to see if Gatsby is smart enough to automatically figure out what's coming. I don't think it will. But I think this looks promising here. Pa-pa-pa-pam. Come on. Now let's see what happens if we run this again. So we now have children internal content cannot query field on type query blah. All right, so that didn't work. We're gonna have to create an actual type, which we're gonna do here using the create types action. So create types, and this is going to go into a function, and we're gonna say const items equals await fetch responses for a specific node. And we're gonna have function fetch responses, fetches responses for a specific type form. So the UID is now gonna come from a function argument, fetch responses, UID, like that, and we say, and we just return this, return typeform responses. So we fetch the responses from that typeform, we go through the items and we create the nodes. And do we need the cache? We can deal with the cache later. On pre-init, we don't need that part. And here we're going to, we need to create the types. So that comes in exports dot, oh, come on, exports dot create schema customization equals actions. And it's going to create types from actions. And then we say create types like that. And we are going to say type. We're gonna call it typeform response, which implements a node, right? And it has ID, which is an ID. And we're gonna have, okay, typeform responses. Now let's see, what did the responses actually look like? Here we go. So typeform responses, where are you guys? Come on, let's go find a representative field. Items answers. So it's gonna have answers, which is how do I define an array in this again? I totally forgot. We're gonna try answers as a string first, which is going to be string if a JSON. So each item has a list of answers, and then it has, where are we? And then answers, then it has metadata, which is also going to be a string, and response ID, which is a string, submitted at, which is a, is there such a thing as, I don't know if there's a time, but we can just go with a string. You can say all of these are mandatory. Submitted at is a string, and then we have landed at, which is a string, landing ID, which is we don't need that. Landed at, landing ID, metadata we said is there. Submitted at, token, I don't think we need a token, and we do need variables, which is also going to be a string. So now that I have that thing, I think now I can do typeform response, this. And then how do I use those? So if this says slug, how do I put that in? That's the part that I'm questioning, or that's the part I'm confused about. create remote file node, URL, create node field, node ID, create node, what? Parent, children. I guess we can just go here and say parent, children, and then we put in answers, which are come from JSON stringify response dot answers. And then we have metadata, which is JSON stringify response dot metadata. And we're gonna have response ID. No, we don't need that because we already have an ID. We can say submitted at JSON, which is response dot submitted at. And we have landed at, which is response dot landed at, and variables, which is JSON stringify of response dot variables, right? All right. So now we're gonna try what happens with that. If that works, we can then keep going down the schema to get the answers and stuff, and then from there we'll be able to write more complex queries for it. What is this complaining about? There might be more nodes that failed validation. The new node in internal content digest is required. Okay. So content digest, create content digest. What is content digest? Create content digest. What does this do? Create content digest. Create a stable content digest from a string or object. You can use the result of this function to set the internal content digest field on nodes. Uses the value of this field to invalidate stale data when your content changes. Cool. So we're gonna pass this in. Hey, Fuzzy Buddy. Fuzzy Buddy! You're famous in this household. It's going pretty well. I think we're gonna get the... I think I'm gonna get to the point where I can at least show all of the Typeform responses that I get as feedback on my newsletter on swizzes.com. And maybe we're getting very close to creating a more generalized Typeform. What? Sure. So my girlfriend wants to come say hi to Fuzzy Buddy. That's so funny.
Every single live stream. I feel like he's a friend.
Yeah. Let's see.
Where's the video? Hi, Fuzzy Buddy. Fuzzy Buddy.
Wow, Kiwi is saying hi too. Okay.
Stuff I do not understand.
Yes. Now let's see if this works. Come on, can you leave me alone? So nodes, we now have... Cool. All right. So we should now be able to get metadata, answers, submitted at, and variables. And if I press play, cannot return null for non-nullable field. What field was non-nullable? I wish this told me. Let's just get metadata and answers. Okay, so we get the metadata, that's cool. And we get the answer list, also cool. But variables was probably needs to be done like this. I guess they all do. They are all potentially optional. This is submitted at. Yeah, sorry, Eric. I don't know why Fuzzy Buddy just really sticks in mind whenever I say hi, Fuzzy Buddy. It's like, oh yeah, that guy. So here we're going to do it like this. Const data equals blah. And then we can pass it in here, and we pass it into the content digest so we don't have to retype stuff so much. Now, how do we make the metadata more useful? So instead of metadata, how do I, oh yeah, the Typeform metadata. So we have Typeform metadata, and I think I can make it an array like this. How do I define GraphQL type array? How do I define that? Because I always forget. Array, there we go. It's just, you put it in strings. So we have that, and we say Typeform metadata, which has user agent, which is a string, and we have platform, which is also a string. We don't need commas. And we have referrer, which is a string. What else is in here? Network ID, which is a string, and we have browser, which is a string. So we now should not need to. We can just say response metadata, which is not actually an array. So we have response metadata. Now I'm going to restart this, and we're going to try again if I can now extract more useful metadata out of each response using the GraphQL query. And nobody told me, but I should have zoomed this in. Can I move these things around? No, I cannot. All right, so now let's see. How is this gonna work? Let's see. And okay, come on, computer. This is a good sign. Looks like things are working. So I can press play here again. Yes, must have a selection of fields. That's a good sign. So we're gonna say for each one of them, we need to reload the page. So we're gonna get the browser, and what else exists. So we can now see here what exists. We can say platform, and let's go with referrer and user agent. So now when I press play, we get browser, platform, referrer for everything, and the user agent. Awesome. Now, the next step is doing this for answers. And I think for answers, it's going to be a little harder because you see how each answer just has a field ID. We're going to need to get those actual fields. Now, how do we get those actual fields? We're going to need to fetch the form. Fetch responses. So we're going to return. We're going to get the form data, and we're going to get the responses. So let's say const form data equals. Yeah, this is going to suck. But we're going to return promise.all so that we can do these two requests in parallel. We're going to get the responses, and we're going to get the Typeform API /forms /get with the UID. Okay, so we're now going to run the fetching of the actual form data and fetching of the responses together. So we're going to console log that. So we're getting form and items like that. And I'm going to console log the form so I can see what we get. Or I guess I could go look here. Responses, webhooks, delete responses, retrieve form insights. Not very useful. So we're gonna see what we get. Did we get a print here? Gatsby node. No. Still building the bundle. Let's see. Come on, computer. Can't tell if this already printed somewhere. Oh, yes, it did. So we have the fields here, which are, they come in form ID, newsletter feedback, workspace, team, thank you screens, fields. So we're gonna get the fields and the items. Ah, fuck me. And then each of those is going to have, perfect. So we're gonna say a new typeform field, which has an ID, which is a string, has a title, which is a string, and it has a type, which is also a string. I'm gonna simplify this. I don't need all the properties. I don't need all the validations. So we're just gonna get the ID, title, and type, and we're gonna have typeform answer, which is going to then have what? Gatsby. So each answer has a field, which is a typeform field, and it's going to have number, okay, field, type. Okay, so the answer has a type, which is a string, and it has, what else is here? So long text, or number. Oh, that's annoying. We're gonna call this. So if the type is long text, then the thing is in text. If the type is number, then it's in number. So it's going to have, we're gonna call this the value, which I'm just gonna put in as string. Oh, and then for multiple choice, it's a choice. That's kind of annoying. So each choice has a label that's right there. Okay. Type multiple choice has a choice. That's annoying. So how do I deal with this? How do I make this easier to use? Let's go with, yeah, I don't know what to do here. Actually, yeah, let's do it like this. So it can have a text, which is a string. It can have a choice, which is a typeform choice, or it can have a number, which is an int. Is int a type that we have in GraphQL? GraphQL number type. Schemas and types. Oh, basic types. Basic types. Come on, where are you? Number? No. Schemas and types. Number. Integer. Int, float, string, bool. Okay. So we're gonna say this ID is actually an ID, and the answers also, we said, had IDs, didn't they? Does the answer have an ID? Doesn't look like it. No. So typeform answer, type, it has a field, has a type, string, As a type, which is a string, then it has either a text or a choice or an int, and we say typeform choice, which is, what do choices have? We saw one of those down here. Text choice. Where are you, choice? Choice. It says field ID. Where does it say field ID? Yeah, so another dev or Eric, the field ID has an ID, but the actual answer itself doesn't. Where does it say choice? I know I saw that long text. There we go. A choice has an ID, which is an ID. It has a label, which is a string, and that should be it. So now for answers, we should be able to just do this. So we get response.answers. Now let's see if that works. Actually it might not work. It's probably not gonna work. So we're gonna change it a little bit. Instead of response.answers, we're going to map those, and we're going to, for each one of them, wait, yeah, because it has a field ID ref type, but it doesn't have the label, does it? Because we said that Typeform field has an ID, a title, a type, but here where we had the form, we also have the title. So Typeform field, yeah, ID, title, type, and some properties and shit. So we're gonna say each answer gets the whole answer, but then the field becomes form dot find no, form dot fields dot find, yeah, form fields find, and we're going to find, well, good news for you, Carissa. This is being recorded on YouTube, and you can just watch it tomorrow. And if you think it's useful, maybe I can send it to I can write a short recap and send it to my mailing list if you're subscribed to that. We'll see. Either way, it's gonna be watchable tomorrow morning. Field we find. So we find where field.id where field.id is equal to answer.field.id. I think that should work. Now let's see if it does work. Yarn start. Actually, it does not work. Metadata, response, metadata, blah. I'm missing. What am I missing? This. And let's actually make a map. Const field map equals new map dot from fields dot map, and we want each field needs to return field dot id and the whole field. So that's going to create a new map. I think that's how it works. Let's say m equals new map with an array of a to 1, 2, 3, b to 2, 3, 4. Let's see if that works. m.get of a. Great, that works. Yeah, it's nice to see you again, Eric. So we have the field map, and we're gonna say field map dot get answer dot field dot id. All right, now let's see if this runs. Okay, so I think this is a good sign. Let's see if this works. Come on. Oh, this is going pretty well. We're about an hour in, and I think it's almost there. Play. It's gonna say we don't have answers. So answers, we're now gonna say what? We want for each answer, what do we have here? No? Why can't we do that? Because, oh, we didn't do this. So each answers are now an array of typeform answer. So let's rerun. Rerun, and let's see how it works. Oh, wow, a beer after it gets room temp is really not tasty. All right, come on. Come on. Come on, computer. So I can now reload this page, and we now have answers which have multiple things. So for each answer, we're going to get the field title, right? So for each one, we want the field title, and we're going to want the type and the number, text, or choice label, right? So now we press play. Syntax error, expected name found end of EOF. Quoi? I don't understand. Let's try to just get the type for each field. Play. No. Something's not lining up. Like that. There we go. So we get all of the types. Then we paste this back in and press play. So we now get the full answers for this type form in a way that we can query from the rest of Gatsby usefully. See, we get the numbers for the first answer, like are you enjoying Swissits newsletter? You get number 5. What hesitation did you have about subscribing? You get the text. And then you get all of the other responses as well. Sweet. Awesome. So now we are going to put this on a page. So git cd plugins, cd Gatsby Typeform source, git status. Okay, so it's a git add dot, git status again, git commit -m, extract data from Typeform API into useful Gatsby GraphQL. Cool. So we got this. Now we're going to make a new page, which should be pretty easy based on how I have all of this configured. I'm gonna say touch source pages. Let's go with newsletter or feedback.mdx, testimonials.mdx. Yeah, testimonials.mdx. MDX. Yeah, testimonials MDX. So we go to testimonials. Oh, now we go back to the full swizzes.com page and we open testimonials MDX, and I'm gonna cheat a little bit and git checkout source pages JavaScript MDX. No, source git checkout source pages our blog JavaScript MDX. We open that one so that I can crib off of it, and we go with title newsletter testimonials, description, content upgrade. We don't need any of that. Yeah, we can deal with that later. So now we're going to import GraphQL and essentially export this whole query as a page query. So we say export const page query equals GraphQL query, like that. And what else did we do here? All right. So for each node, we're just gonna get the answers, and we want the field title, type, number, text, and the choice. So then we're going to list them out here as like this. Like this. So we go for each one. We're gonna say props dot data dot. Yeah, we don't need to give it a name. Dot data dot all typeform response, and for each one of those, we're going to do some rendering. We get so we're gonna get what is the so I think we're gonna get nodes. Do I have article listing? I want to see how I did this before. Pages, sources.com, node modules, components, Swizzet, Gatsby team course platform, source, components. Come on, where did you go? Components, is there an article listing here somewhere? Article footer, article listing. So this gets the props as context. Well, FuzzyBuddy, how to develop an MVP or how to decide what does and doesn't go in the MVP is actually pretty hard. So it kind of depends on what is it you're trying to build and what you're trying to show. So article listing gets the context and then shows that stuff. All right. So let's see if this works. Like that. Let's see if I can. No. This is gonna be hard. Ideally, I could just use MDX in here as well, but I don't think I can do that. But we can try. Let's try doing this and then going with. Let's just write hello like this and see what happens. Yarn start. Yeah, that doesn't work. Unknown adjacent JSX elements must be wrapped in an enclosing tag. Did you want an fragment. Yeah. That doesn't work. All right. So that's not working, which means we are gonna have to do it like this. Pa-pa-pam. Yeah. So we're gonna have to do some wrapping up here. Or, yeah. Props blah. With, how do I render an MDX page? Oh yeah, duh. Let's see. Gatsby MDX props. I know there's a way we can pass in props to MDX. Writing pages in MDX, customizing modern components, props inside MDX within a Gatsby application. Oh, come on. View code for this lesson. Perfect. Div props. Okay. Index MDX, page 2, pages, images, components. Oh, I guess we can try that. Props, page context, front matter, intro. We can try with props. So with props, we're going to do a let's just make Typeform testimonial and go with all of the props. Yeah. And we import Typeform testimonial from where have I done that before? Typeform testimonial from dot slash. Yeah, we're just gonna put it there for now so I can do this. So now we can save this page in source directly as Typeform testimonial.mdx, and we say hello, and we're gonna put props dot. I don't know what the props are gonna look like, so let's try console logging them as well. So log props and Typeform testimonials, so that way we can see what we're passing in, and then hopefully here we'll be able to read them, and we should see if the word hello renders like 150 times when we go to that page. We'll see how this works. Okay, so far looks pretty promising. Okay. Cool. So now I should be able to go to localhost 8000/testimonials. Unhandled type error. Nice. What is the unhandled error that was found? Field categories is not defined. Quoi? Oh, in JavaScript MDX? I don't care. What is the error here? Gatsby related GraphQL calls are supposed to only be evaluated at compile time and then compiled away. Fortunately, something went wrong and the query was left in the compiled code. What? Oh, I know what I did wrong. It's not supposed to be a call. It's supposed to be a tag. We can fix that. So instead of it being a call, it needs to be done like this, and we run it again, and then we see what happens. Alright, that's looking promising. Yes, categories not defined, don't care. Building development bundle. Okay, so props.data all typeform response didn't work. Why? How did we do that in the JavaScript MDX? Query all site page, props data all site page dot nodes dot map. All type response is not a function. Oh, god damn it. Dot nodes, right? Dot map. I am just being a dumb doodoo. So we try this again. One unhandled GraphQL field categories. Yes, I don't care about that one. Cool. So we're getting a bunch of hellos and we're getting console logs with all of the answers. Nice. All right. Cool. And each field has a thing. Nice. So now we can save this thing and go with, we can have Typeform testimonial, which we're gonna pass in as, let's go with answers, like that, right? And we pass in answers equals answers. Okay, so we get that. Now we need to, instead of just saying hello here, we need to render out the like something. What did I do wrong? Oh, I am like that. Okay, so we go here into Typeform testimonial, which is now going to say, what is it going to say? It's going to, let's go with props answers 0 dot field dot title, yeah, dot title, and let's see if that renders. Props answers field title. No, that didn't work. Why did that not work? View code for this lesson. Let's see, how are they addressing it? Props page context. So it's props dot page context. No. What do props look like? So that's just gonna say props. So this is an MDX page. Oh, okay. It needs to be, if I do it like that, is that gonna render as an object? Let's see if it does. Yes. Unhandled errors. Cool. Okay, that's promising. Props answers 0 dot field dot title. Let's try if that renders. Reload the page. We should get a bunch of things that just say, are you enjoying the Swizzets newsletter? Nice. Cool. All right, so we figured out how to render stuff. Now, what we need to do is, let's see. So we need to render, what did we say we have? We want to get the number of stars for the first one. So we're gonna say empty h2. No, let's go with like this. Let's go with, so we're gonna have props.answers. Actually, props answers. Oh, so we get all Typeform response nodes. Let's map through the answers. And then for each one, we're gonna get the answer, and we're actually gonna, wait, no. It needs to be a list of answers. Yes. It's a list of answers, and we go, oh shit. Thank you, Fuzzy Buddy. Let me change the battery. All right, I should be back. All right, Fuzzy Buddy, am I back? So we iterate through the responses, and then we can go here, and we can, for each of the answers, so we're gonna go with like this. We're gonna go props.answers, and we're gonna have one.field.title is going to have this answer. So props.answers one dot text. So this should now render everyone's response to the first important question. Let's see if it does. No, come on. Okay, let's try restarting. Make sure it renders things. Okay. Come on. Are you working? Please work. Oh yeah, it's building the development bundle, doing the things. Come on. Okay, come on. Run. No, I think this one died. Let's make a new one. Okay, nice. So it renders this, but it's not rendering the title. Nice. Okay, so we get this. Then we need to render the text of 2 and the text of 3 and maybe the text of 4. Let's see what happens with that. Reload the page. Will that work? All right. So are you enjoying? What hesitation did you have? What did you learn? What do you like most? What are some other benefits? And then would you recommend the newsletter to a friend? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Why is this not doing it? Come on. What if we do it like this? Maybe, oh, they could be nulls. Right. It was a while ago. I don't remember, but usually it's because I don't read emails often, so they just fill up my own box. my inbox. I always read yours though. To back myself with a senior mindset, the senior mindset stuff and product business stuff, it makes it easier to articulate what I'm looking for when I hire engineers. Yes, it's wholesome, good content. Nice. Okay. Now, why is this not rendering? So I guess I don't actually need this to be... Yeah, I don't think this benefits from being in MDX. So instead, we're going to render it all here. And we're gonna say, we get the thing, and we paste it in, and we're gonna say H4 and H4, and then P, come on, and P. Let's see if this works. Bye. What is wrong with this? They are adjacent elements and they are wrapped. Okay. No, come on, reload. Oh, right, because now it's just answers. What hesitation did you have about subscribing? It was a while ago. I don't remember, but usually it's because. Cool. So what if we do this into an H6? So it's even smaller. All right. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And yes, I know this is very lazy, but you know what? We are hacking away and this works. Ba-ba-bam. Like that. Will do. What did you learn from Swiss newsletter? Perfect. All right, this is looking good. So we're actually going to change this to be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dot map. I don't know if there's an MDX for. Yeah, sorry, I don't know viable clan member if there's an MDX for that. So like that. And we are actually gonna make, so we get this, what hesitations get, what you learn, what do you like most. That seems useful, right? So now we're going to turn this into an actual component called Typeform response, which gets the answers as answers. And we're going to import it from a component so that life is easier for us. Import Typeform response from // components Typeform response.js. Like that. Make a new one, and you say export const Typeform response equals component that gets, come on, answers and returns this stuff. Goes in components Typeform response.js. Okay, so this should now look the same. We need to reload the page, or we need to restart Gatsby develop. Okay. Yes, field categories is still not defined. Pa-pa-pum. Okay, come on. Oh, we need to import React. Import React from React. And then reload this page. Typeform. Is it like this? Typeform response. Yep. Now, so we still get all of them here, don't we? Do we? They load? There we go. What hesitation do you have? What did you learn? What if we turn this into H7s? I don't know if that's a thing that exists. Nope. What if we turn them just into strongs? Perfect. What hesitation do you have about subscribing? Yes, I don't give a shit. And we get that. Perfect. So now we need to add, we need to only show this if the answer is actually there. So we say if answers of I exists, we show this, otherwise we render null. No, come on. Oh, we don't need the curly braces here. Okay, come on, reload. Yes, yes. So and I guess the text needs to exist. All right. So we now have it filtered, so it's only showing the things that actually have responses. Now here we need to render the stars. So we're gonna render as, let's go with H3. We're gonna go for, how do we make an array of stars? I always hate it when this happens. I think it's a equals new array of 5 fill with 1. Yeah, there we go. So we say, thank you, viable clan member, new array of answers 0. Stars.map. We go with what's FPTS? I don't think I've heard of that before. Stars map. We go with span roll equals image, and we put in a star like that. Right? Okay, come on. And we say stars const stars equals, if answer 0 exists, then we say new array of answers 0 dot number dot fill with, doesn't matter with what, and if that doesn't exist, we just return an empty array. We say span roll image of a star. It needs to have a key of I. Let's see if that works. Load the page. Did it work? Did we get stars? Nice. So we get all of the stars now. And if I scroll down here, there's going to be places with way fewer stars now. Come on, I know that there's some 3-star reviews. There we go. So there's a 4-star review, 5 stars, 4 stars, nice. 3 stars, perfect. Awesome. So I think this is pretty good, right? Oh, Ramda rewrite. I don't, I've never actually seen, I've never used Ramda before. Cool. Nice. So what else should we show here? Presentation you have about subscribing, blah, world domination, experience lessons. What else do you think I should show here? Like, that seems relatively useful. Let's put in some content. About once a year, I run a feedback poll I send a feedback poll to newsletter subscribers. Here are their responses. So that should show up here. Responses from 2021. But once a year I send a feedback poll to newsletter subscribers. All their, yeah. Here are all. Why doesn't this render? What if I do it like this? So this should turn into a number. Come on. Load the page. Yeah. Here are everyone's responses. Hey, Huini. All the responses. You can judge for yourself. Okay. Smile. Toot. What readers think of Swizet's newsletter? Okay, so newsletter once a year, send a feedback poll to newsletter subscribers. Here are all the responses from 2021. You can judge for yourself. I think this is kind of useful. You think we should include their level? I think that would be useful. Let's do that. So Typeform response, should that be next to stars? Yes. From let's see, what's your job level? So this is, so 5, 6, 7, 8. From answers answers 8 dot choice dot label. Okay, so if answers 8 exists, we go like this. From a job title, which is answer is going to be answers 8. Like that. And we say const job title equals yeah, let's do answer, and then return if the answer exists. We return from a answer dot choice dot label, otherwise we return nothing. Now let's see. From a VP director manager. Perfect. What? Cannot read properties of null. If answer 0, so if there is actually a choice, answer choice, oh, fuck's sake, what am I doing? From if the answer choice exists, like that. Okay. From a VP direct, what did I do? If answer 0 choice exists, so now we lost all of the stars. Come on, stars, come back. Oh my God. So this is annoying. We don't get a consistent number of answers. Is that true? All right, so we're gonna have to get all of the answers here. Answers, and we're gonna have to find the right one. So answers, and we say const answer equals answers dot find, where the answer dot field dot title equals what is your role. Or do we have a field ID? Yes. And let's go with title. Okay. So then if we have that answer, we render it. What is your, let's say VP title? No, come on. Label, what's your job level? That's the one. What's your job level? What's your job level? So what's your job level? We get that answer, and now why is answers 0? New array answers number. Why did this? Okay, actually, let's just restart this because sometimes that makes it work better. Oh shit, I've been doing this for almost 2 hours. But I think it's pretty cool. Reload the page. Come on. Please, stars, come back. No. From a VP director manager. From an individual contributor. From an individual contributor. Contractor. Okay. So what did I fuck up here? And obviously I didn't commit the code, so I don't know what I messed up. Oh, because it's not choice, it's number. That's what I messed up. There we go. And we put in a space from a VP director manager, from an individual contributor. Yeah, that seems pretty cool, right? Does anyone have other ideas? Should I include where they are in the world? No, probably not. Okay, I think this is good. I think this solves the problem that I had. Cool. Okay, yep. I think this will work. And then I can go to, I can use the sign up forms to actually link to this. And it's, yeah. Here are all their responses from 2021. You can judge for yourself. Ta-da. Yeah, I think this will do. I'm gonna make a... What do I need to do to actually push this to production is... Aha, we need to do some committing. Git status, git add source components, git add, no, remove source typeform testimonial, and git add source pages testimonials. Is it testimonial? Yeah. Git commit -m, list everyone's feedback. And now the next part I need to do here is what is the next part? I need to make sure that we are here in Typeform response. We need to get the, no, not in types for, where is it? Oh, I need to go Typeform source. We're going to get Typeform source. Where is it? Package.json Gatsby node. So the token needs to come from configuration, and the form UID also needs to come from configuration. So how do I do that? Gatsby plugin config. I've done this before. I just totally forgot how to do it. Blah, 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 blah. No. Config API. Plugin with options. Yes. So we're gonna make those options, mixed plugins. How do we use them? Path prefix, polyfill, mapping, node types. You know what? I am just gonna go and look at one of my existing projects, Gatsby Remark Giphy. So here in source index TS, we have, where do we get embed iframe, cache key, mark plugin options? There we go. So we get plugin options. No. Plugin options object. There we go. On pre-render plugin options, or so we go source nodes. Source nodes. Gatsby source nodes. plugin options. I'm sure that's a thing that exists. Creating a source plugin. Options. Using plugin options to customize. Perfect. Options, blah. And we get them here as plugin options. Perfect. Plugin options. So our plugin options then are going to be plugin options dot form ID and also plugin options dot typeform key. Plugin options dot typeform token dot token dot token. We pass those in, and I totally don't know my form ID now. So command X. Fucking A. I'm an idiot. Go into Gatsby config and we say resolve the Gatsby plugin source typeform source, and we add options as token and form ID, which is a single form. That's all we need for now, so I'm not going to deal with supporting more than that. Say plugin options dot token and plugin options dot form ID, and we pass those in here. Token and UI. Token and UID. Let's go token and form ID. So we go token and UID is form ID, like that. Gatsby config. Token goes in here. So now we try if this still works. And if it does still work, I'm then going to get a real token, and I'm going to kill this token, make a real one, and then UID is not defined. Where? Form ID. There we go. So I'm going to then get a real token, put it in my Gatsby site config and deploy all of this. But I think we made really good progress. We got everything done. The question is, should I write an article about this or not bother? I'll decide tomorrow. But let's verify first that it works. So reload the page. Is everything still there? Yes. Perfect. Awesome. So that's it from me for today. Thanks everyone for watching. I will see you again next time I do this. Bye.